We are reconvening the Orange County Board of Supervisors meeting. County Council, I do believe you have items to report out on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I have two reports. Pursuant to Government Code Sections 54956.9 D1 and 54957.6, the board met in closed session to discuss the items referenced on today's agenda as items CS1, SCS2, SCS3, SCS4, and SCS5. With respect to SCS3, by a unanimous vote, the board approved a proposed settlement in the case of Sharp versus the County of Orange. The proposed settlement remains subject to the final approval of others. As soon as the proposed settlement becomes final, details will be made available in the Office of CEO Risk Management to any person who inquires. With respect to SCS4, by a unanimous vote, the board approved a proposed settlement in the case of BR versus County of Orange. The proposed settlement remains subject to the final approval of others. As soon as the proposed settlement becomes final, details will be made available in the Office of CEO Risk Management to any person who inquires. The board took no other reportable action during closed session today.
We're now on to the public comment section of the agenda. At this time, members of the public may address the Board of Supervisors on any item on the agenda or any other item not on the agenda but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. This is the only opportunity for the public input except for the scheduled public hearing items. Each comment will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have?
We have 14.
Okay. 14. Okay. Please read the name of the first 3 speakers.
First 3 speakers, if you can line up behind the podium: Brigitte, Matthew Skaggs, and Chad Kurthy.
Elliot filled out a form, tried to speak early this morning. Of course, he wasn't able to. With all due respect, the Attorney General, with this 156 criminal complaint against this board and the County Council and the knuckleheads involved in our case, should come to the conclusion that this adversarial approach you have to the public, I've listed all 1,432 agenda items that you excluded this public from, including the people that were here. They're no longer here because you smoked them out. Hey, they don't show up at the end of the day. With all due respect, I also included a list of all the chairmen and all the reports that they removed from the public record, that the public can't even view with their own eyeballs. So the Attorney General should recognize that this 100-story high-rise of fraud you've erected against the public is about to implode on its own weight like a controlled demolition using nuclear thermite, and you can't stop it. So with all due respect, I'll give you an example of how shameless you are. Tony Rackauckus, the highest-ranking prosecutor in Orange County, standing right next to me. He brags about, oh, we do all this low-hanging fruit with these loan things. I'm telling him real estate fraud, tax fraud against the IRS, tax fraud against the state account, franchise tax board, money laundering of Social Security assets, falsification, I got it right here in my report, 5 documents falsified by county council and the county appointees in order to remove me as trustee, damage the estate, and sell it off. So I'm here to tell you, people, the public service announcement. Just as they were talking about the homeless, the only reason they were talking about the homeless is because they had a gun put to their head, metaphorically, by a judge. So don't come here with all your people and your placards. They're not going to do diddly squat for you. You got to take them in court. So public service announcement, if you've been glued, screwed, or tattooed by a judge in the probate court, contact me. Maybe he's the same guy who's glued, screwed, and tattooed and looted the estate like a drunken sailor with his cronies. And we'll compare notes. We outnumber them, people. We are legion. And the only way they're going to stop, these guys ain't going to do diddly squat unless they're dragged into a court. Drag them into a court. You guys should have been. In fact, the title of this, I don't have my glasses on. The title of my report is that you guys should incur a civil penalty by the court on its own motion for the 1,432 agenda items you illegally That's the word, illegally remove the public from this hearing by the court on its own motion. I would encourage you not to hide this, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Matthew Skaggs and Chad Kurthy.
Next three speakers, please.
Carol Meeks, David Duran, and the cameraman.
That's Todd. Todd was at the TEP Parade Saturday, February 17th in Little Saigon, and I got the best picture of him. So I just wanted to take a moment. I wanted to make sure you personally got that photograph. It's a very nice photograph. I wanted to give it to you sooner, but because free speech has been beaten to death here at the Board of Supervisors, I had to wait over 3 hours to do it. Andrew Doe was also at the TEP Parade, but he did not say hello to me. If you were here at the last regular Board of Supervisors meeting, you probably know why. Now I'm going to talk about what happens when you film the people that are no longer on the riverbed. First, the sheriffs will talk to you in a condescending tone because they don't like you there. And if that doesn't work, if you're not frightened by their condescending talk, they will send their media goons to fair game you like a bunch of Scientologists. And what I mean by that is they feel that sending somebody with a camera to film another person with a camera is going to somehow intimidate that person into stop recording them. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but we can point cameras at each other all day, but nothing's going to happen. Then, if that doesn't work, they will resort to making fake phone calls or pretending to have phone calls and say pretty obvious things out loud, such as, have we warned her? Is she interfering? Should we arrest her? You know, loud enough so they'll know that you're hearing that. Then they send their goons to force you off the riverbed because you need a special pass. But last time I checked, you don't need a pass to use your First Amendment right to document police in the course of their official duties. Matter of fact, Senate Bill 411, signed by Jerry Brown, gives us the right to record all public employees in the course of their official duties here in the state of California. Now, you may be wondering, why wouldn't they want to be recorded in the course of their official duties when they have no choice about it? Probably because they don't like videos of them being put up committing wrongdoing, possibly being viewed as a big bully. But when you go around slashing homeless people's tents so they won't use it, that's what I've been told. If there's been abandoned tents, they cut the tent up so no one will come back and use it. There's been some cases where the media team down there with their filming have stumbled upon some people in their tent, not fully clothed, but they continue to film them anyways. And just general overall, disrespectfulness towards the homeless people. But now they're all gone. Even though they're gone, they're still human beings. And I'm out of time, but even though they're homeless, they still deserve respect and treatment just like everybody else, no differently. Thank you.
Next
Carol Meeks and David Duran.
Okay.
Next three speakers, Kenneth Batiste, Lou Noble, and Elia Seglin.
First of all, I was a victim of an unlawful foreclosure and real estate fraud, and the banks got away with billions. Now to the displaced homeowners who lost everything to the point of ending up homeless in the cities for years to come since the recession of 2008. Even though some got back on their feet, but many got caught up on making wrong decisions, and many disabled older citizens who lost even their pensions are now categorized as in the cities as criminals and for being homeless under the camping and storage ordinances. For years, we have been pleading for more shelters in every city to no avail. to the point of calling it a state of emergency a year before Anaheim even called it that. With the exception of 2 shelters from the county that opened, a year or so ago, just a bandage on a big wound that has grown over the years, that nothing has been done except criminalizing the thousands of people in the streets, pushing them to the riverbed. I have talked to sheriffs and some of the liaison officers that, off record, have said criminalizing the homeless is not the answer. Even the chief of police have said it on the record. We can't get out of this through law enforcement. So why do we continue criminalizing the homeless? It's a great step that we have come to this now because the Judge Carter has actually have a little more common sense that most of us don't have. But people being displaced, okay, and the thing is that nobody was anticipating this move to hotels. So a lot of people got left out that should have been in hotels, and some that shouldn't have been in hotels because there was a misinformation about vouchers, which weren't vouchers. Many people came out of everywhere because they thought they were going to be handed out a voucher. That media and some of our officials called it a voucher, which was not the case. It was just a procedure to getting people on the list to actually accommodate them with 30 days so the county could come up with something better. We have come out and we have given you alfresco gardens as a concept for transitioning people to housing, or even more for the shelter resistance. We have a lot of videos out there that people have said that they prefer that because there's more privacy in a tent than there is in a shelter. Thank you.
After Elias Eglin, the next 3 speakers are Robert Eglin, Luis Hernandez, and Pat Davis.
Honorable Supervisor Doe and Board of Supervisors, my name is Ilya Tseglin. I have no intention to attend the public meeting, but I have to, no choice, but spent all my time for years pleading for life my innocent son, Nate, because the county department and your budget and county budget have been serving illegal scam of kidnapping and profiteering, allegedly sharing the public funding reserved for disabled treatment and services from regional center. The public departments, such as public defender office, loyally represent in the probate court the interest of Orange County Regional Center. You can see on the display, we try for a long time to take the public defender replaced by private and save public money, but they don't do that because the public defender, this is the reason why Nate is there. He betrayed him. If you can review the case 824-6780 and visit the hearing in probate court, then you may see that Nate and other disabled have not legal representation due that public defender is working only exceptionally for regional center, but county paid him $870 per hour. We don't know about why it's there on your budget, not on regional center. The CEO, director of Orange County Regional Center, may offer to the public defender probably a better choice and salary than county, but they are working for both of them, but receiving money for illegal profiteering. Nancy, this public defender, like Petrosina, Hill, Bianchi, Feldon, Judges Hubbard, Moberly, Lee, Brown, they all pretending that the court. We don't have court. We don't have legal system. We have a people who coming to make profit on the public expense. Nancy Bradman and Larry Landauer receiving billions of dollars for their profiteering, not for the disabled. They don't give this money. They torturing, and I can say that the county will be embarrassed someday what they do for you and for the public.
Board of Supervisors, Robert Seglin, brother of Nate Seglin. As I've stated before, my brother Nate Seglin was kidnapped from his residence 3 times, once in San Diego, 2007, initiated on behalf of the San Diego Regional Center, twice in Irvine by the same Irvine Police Department, despite 3 orders, 3 judicial orders, 3 writs of habeas corpus, and DDS's ex parte denial. Nevertheless, despite that legal precedence and being ordered to be released, the regional center in contempt of the Landerman Act and contempt, trying to bring forth reports and so forth, in contempt of the release, put him in the 903 South Harmon group home, and 2 months later, apparently at behest of their so-called psychiatrist, because of the reporting of seizures and physical abuses by the conservatee and his father, recommended a petition to remove conservatorship from the parents, the co-conservators. And in 1 year, 7 months later, the judges repeatedly refused to dismiss relitigated evidence, remove conservatorship in an illegal trial, unconstitutional, sealed. They place pictures of my brother's genitalia. I don't explain why. I don't have any description, no expert even opinion as to what's wrong with his genitalia. Why did they do that? Indecent exposure. Nevertheless, Judge Hubbard sealed the trial, and so sealed the trial, didn't allow witnesses, didn't have a jury trial, and removed conservatorship, using relitigated evidence, everything illegal, unconstitutional, removing it from family, not allowing it to a subsequent family member to be appointed conservator pursuant to the probate code, 1812B, and removes conservatorship, and then public defender changes his mind, says he wants to be a ward of the state. And then afterwards, the public defender continues to conceal medical records, accusing, if my brother reports physical abuse, being choked, having seizures, it's obviously my father's telling him that he's being choked and having seizures, but no release of no disclosure of medical records, just accusing the horrible father for speaking in Russian and telling him that he has seizures. If they want to find it out, then they can find out what he's saying, but now they cut off the phone communications whatsoever. So now where are the allegations of seizures coming from? But they don't need to, because petition after petition obviously is denied, dismissed. The public defender can continue the libel, slander, defamation, and no evidence is necessary to procure or prove anything. And so this can continue unless somebody intervenes to help this. Thank you.
Good morning, members of the board. I'm here again. I've been here a couple of times, asking for help. I asked one of the social workers, and thank you to the social workers. Thank you to your ex-senator, Loretta Sanchez. I know this is going to sound crazy. I don't know how you feel, guys, about what happened in Florida. I'm pretty sure that you guys are really happy, because you guys know what happened over there with Nicholas Cruz. It's what happened to me. It's been happening to me for 3 years. You guys believe in God? Sorry. I don't mean to offend you. I don't believe in God, I was raised for a person that wanted to be a priest. He found out what they do. I don't believe in God. Thanks to that, I haven't been able to go. I don't want to go to my country because they're asking me the same thing. I'm listening to voices. It's a chip. You have sheriff that know about the chip. I've been looking for help. You know where I got it back from the Judge Garcia Karian? They took away my kids. I've been listening to this person playing with this technology for 3 years, 3 years. And what I got from the social worker is Luis Arturo Hernandez, the father of the children, Arturo Jr., Genesis, and Mateo, has a history of mental health issues. Mr. Hernandez reported that he was previously diagnosed with depression and was prescribed medication. Mr. Hernandez denied current feelings of depression and stated that he is no longer on medication. Mr. Hernandez self-reported that he believes he has a chip in his head. I went in 2016 to the police department. I found an officer. I asked him, hey, do you know about this technology? He said, yes, it's a little thing that they put on your ear. I already went to see 2 different doctors for the ear and throat. I haven't been able to find a doctor that's going to be able to clean my ears, for me to remove that from my ears, you know? But I've been getting the threat that if I don't pay $50 million to those people, they're going to kill my kids. They're going to transfer because it's technology they use for transfer. According to this, for federal use, you know? I don't know that. I already called the FBI, the CIA, Secret Service. Do you know that I'm going to tell you something. Your ex-Senator Loretta Sanchez, she even closed the 55 freeway one time in 2004 because she was following me. I was on my way to Yorba Linda to work. I am a construction worker, and I am an electrician. Now with a brain damage. I don't know how much brain damage. I went here outside. I asked the deputies, and they say, we are not doctors. This is not our jurisdiction. I went to the police. What I got from the police is, if you come back here, I'm going to give you my word. If you have papers, I'm going to make sure that you're going to lose your papers. You're going back to your country. If they don't throw you, we're going to send you to a mental hospital. I mean, I didn't ask for this. I know this is going to sound crazy. I don't know if it's against the law because my brain, I don't know how much brain. I am not crazy. I know what I'm talking about. I got the names. Police Officer Verdugo, his badge number, 3058. I don't know if they play him. Sheriff J. Darrett, I saw him outside here at the building on 10/14/2016, you know. I'm afraid if I go to the doctor, what kind of help I'm going to get? I haven't get any help from you guys. I haven't get any help from it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost, and my kids have been sick, you know, receiving transfer. Hopefully this time you guys are going to do something.
Okay. Next speaker, please.
After Pat Davis, the last 2 speakers are Brian Kay and Samantha Pence. Pat Davis? Brian Kay and Pat Davis.
Okay, all right. Okay, so on now to, that concludes our public comment section. We move on now to CEO comments. Thank you. Board member comments on my left. Okay, great. And any adjournments? None also? So I believe that concludes today's agenda. Our next board meeting is scheduled for 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday, March 13th, same place. Today's meeting is hereby adjourned.